What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Today we're for a new Madden 23 rebuild where we're going to be rebuilding the Atlanta Falcons using college draft classes. Now, if you've clicked this video from the thumbnail, you'll know what our plan is, but if not, let's just act like we don't know what we're doing. And I don't know what we're going to be doing for the quarterback spot, and the Atlanta Falcons are in a very interesting spot as it relates to the quarterback position. Arthur Smith has come out and said that they're going to rock and roll with Desmond Ridder for a minute. So if that's kind of the plan, right, you want to give Desmond Ridder one season to see what he can do. And I've seen a mixed bag from afar. Like anytime I do other rebuilds and I might see Atlanta, sometimes Desmond Ridder plays like an MVP candidate. Sometimes there's a right role for this Falcons offense. Other times it's just average and they go on and get another quarterback. So that is what we're going to do. And under that context, like, so we're not going to be looking for a quarterback from the 2023 draft because we're going to give 2023 to Desmond Ridder. So that's no Anthony Richardson, no Will Levis. Not trading up for a CJ Stroud or a Bryce Young. So we're going to utilize next year's quarterback class from the 2024 class. So there's definitely one name at least attached to the Atlanta Falcons history that I'm kind of thinking would be a really, really fun option. And that will get, honestly, because obviously I don't know how this is all going to play out. Desmond Ridder plays well. It's probably going to be a Desmond Ridder rebuild. If he does not play well, you clicked onto the video, you know what we did. But if it, I don't know, there's just that uncertainty that we have in this rebuild, which is the same uncertainty that Atlanta Falcon fans have in real life, and that is Desmond Ridder good enough to be the guy? I've got the roster right in line with where it is right now. I just went through all the free agency moves. You know, I re-signed Caleb McGarry on the off. Man, they need wide receiver out. We got Scotty Miller and Mac Hollins. That is what the Falcons did to improve the wide receiver room. Don't know if that's enough. Algier got himself a dev trait after having a really, really solid, maybe even borderline underrated rookie season. So he's going to be a long-term option there. The defense, now the only move I couldn't make, I couldn't bring Calais Campbell. He retired just in this save, and I wasn't going to restart it. He's only like a one-year Band-Aid type deal. Anyways, we get David Onyemata on the defensive line. We got Caden Ellis, who they poached away from the New Orleans Saints. Bud Dupree's on the roster. Jesse Bates signed a mega contract. We got Mike Hughes and Jeff Okudah. So we made that recent trade. That was like a steal, I think. Getting Jeff Okudah, I believe, was for a 5th-round pick. There's still upside there. I think a fresh landing spot could be amazing for him. And we have the Jonnu Smith trade as well on the offensive side of the football. But we're going to be going into this draft, the 2023 draft. I mean, I think we could explore wide receiver as an option, maybe even earlier than expected. We might want to look at improving the center spot. We might want to look on the defensive side at bringing in a 3-4 defensive end there at left defensive end. That could be a Tyree Wilson. That could be a Brian Brzee. That could be Lucas Van Ness. We could look at just straight up edge still, even with Lorenzo Carter, Ebiketie, and Bud Dupree. I mean, I think we'll try to keep and develop Arnold Ebiketie. I really did like that pick when they made it. But maybe we could use, if Will Anderson falls a little bit, or maybe a Nolan Smith. We got some options here. We have a lot of different avenues that we can explore for this draft. But we're going to give Desmond Ridder 1 year. And if that doesn't work out, we're going to look towards 2024 and maybe a specific quarterback that's also currently in college football. But let's get into the 2023 draft, see what kind of haul we can get. Anthony Richardson just went to the Raiders, which would, I think that's kind of been the popular pick. It's been either like, we want Anthony Richardson or we want to make that trade for Lamar Jackson. I kind of think that's been, honestly, the hype and the discussion around the quarterback spot for the Atlanta Falcons, maybe even more so than buying into Desmond Ridder being the guy. And as we stand here, the board, very interesting. A lot of talent at corner. Christian Gonzalez is there. And I don't think I could sit here with a straight face and say having Casey Hayward and Mike Hughes on the roster is going to put me off drafting someone like Christian Gonzalez. We need wide receiver help. I just think the turn in the 2nd round, whatever wide receivers slip out of the 1st round, like, we could probably jump. There's a chance Quentin Johnson, JSN, Josh Downs, Jalen Hyatt, all those guys are going to be available there in the 2nd round, and that's probably where we should jump on the wide receiver versus getting one right now at 8. I don't think it's a particularly strong wide receiver class outside of Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. So for that front, we got Lucas Van Ness here for potential pass rusher. He could come in and be plug and play at one of those defensive end spots. Tomi Adebaware also schematically fits our front, 6'2", 280. great athlete. Brian Brzee, Kalijah Cansey, both those guys also kind of could fit. Even going to Tui Pelotu, those guys there could play defensive end. Coming out the edge, we still got Nolan Smith on the board, which is interesting. We got Isaiah Foskey on the board, which is interesting. But I think you almost have to make the argument now with the corner 1 and corner 2 still here. And I don't think I've used Christian Gonzalez in any of my rebuilds yet. Therefore, I don't know. Like, does he is he like an X factor? Is he a superstar dev type player? I'm gonna do it. Let's do it. Let's spice it up a little bit. Chris Gonzalez, AJ Terrell, Jeff Okudah. Could that be our long-term secondary? Okudah thriving in the slot, Gonzalez and Terrell on the outside. All right, let's do it. Let's just see it. Second round at pick 8, we do have Tomi Adebayorwe from Northwestern, who's just a simply absurd athlete. Yeah. Let's see. I mean, no dev trait, but this is an incredibly high ceiling player, going to be a day 1 starter for us, and might put himself in a position for that defensive rookie of the year voting to get that instant dev trait at the end of his first year. Oh, no. Jalen Hyatt. Who, I mean, if you're paying attention to the draft, there's a chance he's a first rounder. He was there in the 3rd. I thought he would fall to us. I thought we were going to just be able to... no, that's annoying. Damn it. Damn it. That would have been perfect. Now, like, we got Tyler Scott. What kind of speed do we got here? And, like, you know, he's a burner. 4.2. Let's add some speed here in the 3rd round. Ooh, a little bit of a value pick here. I went with like another very twitched up, great athlete. Yasir Abdullah put up ridiculous production at Louisville for our scheme. He'd kick inside middle linebacker. He popped with a dev trade. All right, so looking at our draft recap, just tighten up some of these players a little bit. I don't know when the last time Bengal updated his draft class, but like Tyler Scott, for example, is 5'9", $170, not 210. And I did keep the rating. I didn't look at any dev traits. That's obviously Scout's honor for that part. But I did update. Chris Gonzalez had like 80 some jumping, like 85 jumping. He jumped a 41-inch vert. So he gave his jumping like 96, 97. I updated Tomi Adebayorwe's just everything a little bit. I mean, this guy here, he ran a 4.4 at 280. So his rating was 73. I just modified the physical attributes a little bit. Give him 88 speed, 91 acceleration. I shaved a couple points off like his power move and block shake because he's not as technical yet. But you know, from a pure raw athletic standpoint, I mean, Adebayorwe, man, I wouldn't be shocked if he goes in the first round. Really, right now there's a lot of hype that he might go to Philadelphia. Even though me personally, I'd rather rock and roll with Milton Williams. But look at Christian Gonzalez here for the Falcons. That's an ugly number. Honestly, right now, I'm just going to, because I don't want my number 1 pick, my first draft pick, to be rocking 38 in the secondary. Let's get, obviously, I don't know what numbers are retired by the Falcons. I don't want to disrespect anyone. We'll go 20. I feel like 20 is probably retired. We'll give him 20. We got Tyler Scott in the 3rd round. Hidden dev wide receiver, 73. So a nice deep threat. And given the weakness of our wide receiver room, like he's going to have a great opportunity to really establish himself here as our wide receiver 2 behind Drake London. Yasir Abdullah, 68 overall, but he did pop with a dev. I'm going to kick him inside the middle linebacker. That's how we're going to use him. I wonder if his rating will jump up any. Like if we can get that close to 70, that'd be nice. And he actually loses a spot. He's down to a 67 overall. I got Marvin Mims, one of my favorite wide receivers in this year's draft class. He's 71 in the 4th round. Got the Canadian Chase Brown to be our RB3, maybe even long-term RB2 after Cordero Patterson moves on. He's 70. You got another speedster in Jaden Reed. And finishes with Rajon Wright at corner. But really, it's Chris Gonzalez, Adebayorwe, Tyler Scott. Those are our big 3. And I'm pretty happy that we got a extra, like almost a freebie hidden dev. Here's how our squad looks going into year number 1. As far as changes from where we started to where we are right now, it's just more so a lot of the more changes at the wide receiver spot. We're going to go Tyler Scott and Marvin Mims. Going to give the younger guys the opportunity to play, get the field earlier. So that's really the only changes for the offense outside of like, hey, let's just see what we have in Desmond Ridder. On the defensive side of the ball, Adebaware is going to get a start at defensive end. Shuffled around the linebackers a little bit. They paid decent money for Ellis, but there's only, he's a 69 middle linebacker. And we got 68 for, 67 for Abdullah. Abdullah's younger, has the dev trait, so I figured we just throw the young guy on there, see what he can do. We're going to go Gonzalez on the outside with Terrell, with Jeff Okudah in the slot. Hayward and Mike Hughes are just very solid depth, I suppose, if our depth does get tested. But ultimately here, in year one, let's just kind of get a starting point, see where our team's at, see where we need to get better into the offseason. Maybe surprise people, who knows? And the midway point of year one for the Atlanta Falcons, 2-7, is not ideal. We almost have a top 10 rushing offense, and our defense is not brutal, but Desmond Ridder is not playing particularly well. 24th in terms of passing offense, which is, it is what it is. It's a rebuild. I had no real true expectations for the Falcons because I was pretty realistic, I think is a fair way to say it, that we weren't going to be particularly good. Looking at our salary cap, we have $65 million available. I definitely do want to see if we can keep Jeff Okudah. I didn't pick up his fifth-year option because I wanted to extend him now if I could, and assume that he'll develop more. So I don't think it will cost too much more money to get that one over the line. Mykal Walker also looks kind of interesting. Like maybe there's still something there to develop. He's affordable. Even though they want a little bit more money, still really, really reasonable contracts for guys with dev traits. So Okudah and Walker will come back to the table and make sure we get them signed across the line, and we're still going to have an absolute war chest to spend in free agency this upcoming offseason. So as we close out year one, we finish bottom in the NFC South, 5-12, which is going to give us decent pick, top 5 pick in the upcoming draft, where we're going to be looking for a quarterback at some point. Looking at the positives, we had a top 5 rushing offense, which was good. The bad side is our quarterback didn't play particularly well, and we are running a 3-4 defense. We had basically 0 pass rush. So that's kind of where we're at as a roster. Desmond Ridder, 4,200 yards, 28 touchdowns, 14 picks. Not too bad, but if we do have the opportunity to upgrade at quarterback, maybe there's going to be some value in a trade. We might be able to fetch a third, fourth round pick for Desmond Ridder. Running the ball, 1,400 yards, 22 touchdowns for Algier, which is outstanding. He might be in line for a dev trade. He's on that star dev. Definitely one of the more productive running backs. That's given the state of the team, that's unreal numbers. Drake London had 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, got 1,000 for Kyle Pitts, 870 and 3 for Tyler Scott, 866 and 7 for Marvin Mims. So really all of our wide receivers got the kind of production that we're looking for. Defensively, Chris Gonzalez. Ooh, not too often you see a corner lead the team in tackles. The rookie, 106 tackles, 2 interceptions this season, over 100 tackles for Walker. But as you can see, our sacks were pretty bad. 17 TFLs, 5.5 sacks for Grady Jarrett, I guess isn't brutal. 12 TFLs, 5 sacks for Ebiketie. Not really where you want to see it. Adebaware, the rookie, 60 tackles, 14 TFLs, 4 sacks. We were looking for him to potentially get Defensive Rookie of the Year nods to get off that normal dev, and I don't think he got it that season. AJ Terrell with 5 picks is honestly really, really good. Take a look at the yearly awards. MVP goes to Dak Prescott. Yuck. In the NFC for award winners, well, Marvin Mims coming in number 4 for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Will Anderson, with Chris Gonzalez with his 100 tackles, 2 picks, coming in number 6. Look at the rest of the awards. Running back goes to Barkley. Algier almost got it. Second place for running back of the year. Damn. For DBs, AJ Terrell at number 3, which is pretty good. But all in all, I mean, a little bit of a burner of a year. Kind of just is what it is, going through the motions. We're not where we need to be. We got a lot of salary cap available to us. With 63, I'll probably go up as well when the salary rises next season. So we're going to be able to make a splash if need be, but we're going to have a pretty good draft. Looking at the roster, we had a couple nice hidden dev traits get unlocked for us. On the offensive side, Tyler Scott was hidden dev, 3rd round pick out of Cincinnati. He popped with a star dev, but look at what we found on the defensive side of the ball. Chris Gonzalez, superstar. Yasir Abdullah. Like, what did we get, a 5th round, 6th round, superstar dev? So there you go, fellas. Make note if you are using Bengals draft class here on Xbox. Yasir Abdullah. Obligada. Yeah. In closing for the dev traits as we roll in the offseason, Tyler Algier gets the superstar dev off of his star, which is nice. No other ups or downs on the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, we did lose the superstar on Jesse Bates, which kind of sucks because he was our big money free agent signing. But tackles are king for corners as Christian Gonzalez, rookie superstar, gets an X factor after his first season in the league. For free agency, we're going with the big fish. Not a lot of quantity, so we're going to go quality over quantity, and we got to see if we can fix our pass rush. We went out, we got Rashawn Gary, formerly of the Green Bay Packers, 7 years. Don't worry about how much it was. We had more than enough money to compensate. Give me sacks. I need double digits for the price tag we just paid. All right, so we're at the draft. Here's what we're going to do. The whole draft class is not updated to 2024, but because we're in the market for a quarterback, and there's a quarterback that I would absolutely love to see on, and oh my God, do you need tackles? There's a quarterback I would love to see for this rebuild, and I'm going to make it into a real player. And the player that I'm going to draft likely is not going to be a first-round pick in 2024, but he's going to be a weapon. And luckily enough for this draft class, there is a player that we're going to make into the player that I want to see. Look at this nice value pick. Way down here in a day 3 of this guy, Cooper Douglas from Yale. Day 3, but he's a second, third-round talent. 3 Bs and an A. So basically whatever's going to do, it's back to old school before you can have custom draft classes. Whatever this quarterback's rating is, assuming that we can get him, that's the rating. The rating of that is going to change to the player that I'm going to make, but the stats can get modified a little bit to incorporate the play style. So hopefully Cooper Douglas, if we can draft him, has a nice rating and potentially pops with a dev trade as well, because it would suck to go on a normal dev trade. But we have a top pick in this year's draft class. Plenty of options for us to utilize it on. So at pick 5 in the draft, we're not going to reach for our quarterback. We have plenty of options available to us. And, I mean, we're really kind of in like a BPA type scenario. I still think my biggest issue, even with the addition of Rashawn Gary, is we need pass rush. We need to work on that defensive line a little bit. Joe Spurlock makes the most sense as a potential nose tackle. Only guy that really fits that mold. However, the combine, actually is pretty good. Elite strength, 40 reps on the bench press. He's a pretty damn good athlete. Really, I think the pick, though, is going to be between him at D-tackle, and we have, we just didn't do enough scouting, man. We didn't do enough scouting on the other positions. I was so focused in on the quarterbacks. Like, I'm not seeing, another pass rush. We might have to just gamble on another season of Arnold Ebiketie, maybe taking his game to another level. We got Gabe Perkins here, nice height, weight, speed type corner, but we don't need corner whatsoever after last year. So I just think when it's all said and done, at pick 5, I think Spurlock's going to be the best of the bunch. I'm just a little worried about there not being a dev trade here, but at least there was. What a powerhouse, man. 95 strength. What a beast. And I might be able to wait to the 3rd round. I just don't really want to mess around because this obviously is going to be a very important player for this rebuild. We're going to grab Cooper Douglas, who's about to be formerly known as Cooper Douglas. Oh, no dev trade. Damn it. So looking at our draft recap, Spurlock, our 1st round pick, our new starting nose tackle, hidden dev, pops as a 77 overall, but most importantly right now, the man formerly about to be known as Cooper Douglas, 71 normal dev, as he becomes, and much like his dad who was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons in 1989, SHEDEUR Sanders, a name to watch for the 2024 NFL draft class, has also followed in his father's footsteps, a 2nd round pick with an opportunity to become a starting quarterback. Honestly, I've watched a little bit of his game, and it's tough to judge to a certain degree because of the level of competition, HBCU, but he made the transfer with his father to Colorado. He's going to be a big-time name to watch in the Pac-12. Arm talent for sure. He absolutely has NFL caliber talent in the arm. I think he's a smart quarterback, doesn't put the ball in harm's way. Obviously, the heritage. He's maybe not an S-tier athlete. People think, oh, Deion Sanders, kid's a quarterback. Yeah, I think he's some Lamar. He's a good athlete, though. So I think we made pretty much in line how I think his stats would look, while also, not cheesing it too much and keeping the rating at a 71 like the player that we originally drafted. So we have that now at quarterback, and we got a little bit of ways to go, man. No dev trait, so he's starting on that normal dev trait. Rest of our draft class there, we did get a 70 overall running back in the 4th round, Martin Sampson out of Delaware. But really, it's all about the top 2 picks. Brand new nose tackle and likely a brand new starting quarterback going into year 2. No pressure, we're throwing him to the Wolves. SHEDEUR Sanders is going to be our starting quarterback. Just, it's a great opportunity anytime you get a rookie quarterback to get that offensive rookie of the year, which is an automatic dev trait. That is our goal right now with the offense. Get the offense back on track. I know the Falcons have it in them to have a good sim offense. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, superstar Algier, the skill position players are in place. The offensive line is solid. It's going to be a nice environment. Definitely want to continue to add to the wide receiver room, but this is a work in progress. We're only year 2 of 5. We still got plenty of time. Defense, I'm expecting a big step up. The front three, Grady Jarrett, Spurlock, and Adebaware should all take next levels. Rashawn Gary paying almost $200 million to come help out our pass rush. Let's freaking see it. I'm going to make Ebiketie a starter here as well. Locked out with superstar Devon Abdullah. I want to see him develop. Take big-time strides here in year 2. The safety room is awesome. Would love to see maybe Jesse Bates get back. That's superstar dev, but the corner room, AJ Terrell, Jeff Okuda in the slot, X Factor, Christian Gonzalez on the outside. I think we have the makings, the recipes of a top 10 defense. But let's just see what the offense can do here in year 2. Sanders, a new era of Sanders in Atlanta is about to begin. All right, at the midway point of year 2, we're absolutely cruising. 8-3. SHEDEUR Sanders might have been the missing piece. Potentially was the missing piece. Let's see where our rankings are. We have the number 1 offense, but we have outside top 10 for passing and rushing. Yeah, the number 7 rush defense, but over, those are just weird numbers across the board, but I'm not going to complain. We will take it. It looks like we're well on our way to a playoff run. $101 million worth of salary cap. Let's make some smart decisions. First up, AJ Terrell. Absolutely. Sign and forget that one, 4 years. Lorenzo Carter, I think we might be able to do better. Richie Grant. This is like the breaking point of like, he's going to be cheap, and we're not going to get anybody at this talent level on the open market for that cheap. And let's just see if we can continue to develop. Sometimes safeties will pop a dev trade every now and again. That'd be pretty dope. I do think we can upgrade over McGarry. Mike Hughes is just depth at this point at corner. John Smith's old. Onyemata's old. Drew Dahlman's kind of an interesting one. I think it's like one of those deals where I could probably just draft a center that can play in this spot, but it might just be easier to invest that draft pick elsewhere and then keep him kind of on the roster as a cheap, affordable option, which is what we're going to do. And with that being said, got a whole lot of money to spend this offseason still, and we retained all of our top guys. Perfect scenario. Year 2 finishes with an NFC South title, 12-5, with our first year with a rookie quarterback in SHEDEUR Sanders. And let's take a look at the stats here for the team. Who did what to accomplish this feat? Sanders playing lights out, 6th in yards, 8th in touchdowns, a top 10 quarterback already. Absurd. 4,800 yards, 36 touchdowns, 10 picks. Weren't getting that kind of production at a Desmond Ridder last season. 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns for Algier. And to go back to the point, I think we are going to try to trade Desmond Ridder at the draft. Just see what kind of picks we can acquire. Maybe we want to be aggressive and move up. We find a really good-looking player. Sanders also had 7 rush, not a lot of yards, 264 for like Falcons playbook obviously has some scrambling to it, but not a lot. But 7 touchdowns on top of that. That is, whew, did not see that coming. 109 catches, 1,300 yards, 8 tutties for Kyle Pitts, 12-6 for Drake London. Mims at 900 yards. Tyler Scott, 900 yards, 9 touchdowns for him. Really good numbers for all those guys. 120 tackles for Walker. AJ Terrell went over 100 with 4 picks. Yasir Abdullah, our surprise superstar dev from our first draft class. 111 tackles. Look at that. 17 of those, 5.5 sacks. Rashawn Gary, a mercenary, being our big money free agency signing in our first offseason. 73 tackles, 8 TFLs, 17 sacks. For a 3-4 team, I mean, hell, even like I'm used to getting 8.5, 8, 7, from a 3-4 team, but not 17. Let's go, Rashawn Gary. 4 picks from Terrell led the squad. Looking at the yearly awards, MVP is Joe Burrow with Sanders coming in at number 3, but that should at least bode well for him getting a dev trait for Offensive Rookie of the Year, which honestly, even if because there's caps, right? You can only go up 1 dev trait per like season end, if you will. It's like, for example, is like if we got a dev trait for his stats this year, we wouldn't be able to get a double dev trait increase if he got also Offensive Rookie of the Year. It only works 1. Maybe that should be like uncapped. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that should just be something that just rocks and rolls. But he is Offensive Rookie of the Year. You love to see it. Spurlock is Defensive Rookie of the Year. I got to go double check his dev trait, our first round pick, because if that was something better than, Star, we could have an X factor there. Quarterback is Sanders of the. I mean, that's just an outstanding start. We got, 3 more years of that. 3 more years of dominant, hopefully not regressive quarterback play from SHEDEUR Sanders. And hey, if he keeps playing like that, we're going to be an X factor before you know it. I do want to see Spurlock's dev trait just because curiosity. So it's like Sanders is going to likely go up to a star dev. And on the defensive side of the ball, Spurlock is star, but because he got defense rookie of the year, I'm expecting a superstar nose tackle on this squad. I'm expecting Rashawn Gary to go up dev trait. I'm expecting, that's probably it, to be honest with you. But we'll take all that. We will absolutely take all that. But our playoff journey starts in the wildcard round against the 9-8 Green Bay Packers. We're hosting them, so we're the home team. We're a better overall squad. We have a better quarterback as it stands. And in his debut in the playoffs, SHEDEUR Sanders puts up 45 points. I'm going to guess that he did a lot of that, and it wasn't Tyler Algier. And it was 368 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also had a rushing touchdown, 5 tutties. He is prime time 2.0. Giants, next round. What do we got? 83 overall Giants. They're underdogs to us. Let's win the Super Bowl. Let's move it on. Honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, if we win the Super Bowl, I might have to end this one because I got to go take my kid to, I can't wait to go with my kid to see the new Mario Brothers movie. I'd love to get this out before I got to bounce for that, but we handled the Giants 31-21 with Sanders playing a clean game, cleaner game than Jameis Winston did. 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Algier had a day as well on the ground, and we are just like that. No playoffs, year one. Very, honestly, butt cheeks, year one. Top 5 pick, year one. Year 2, we are a win away from featuring the Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback, and we beat the Sim Cheese team. 24-19, the Dallas Cowboys fall to the Falcons. And it's, you know what, we're just going to manifest. What happened in this game is Sanders played a clean game in classic Dak. When the Dallas Cowboys needed to get the score to win, he threw a pick, cost them the game, and yet again, another failure. And it's going to be the battle of the birds in the Super Bowl. The Atlanta Falcons, #1 offense in the NFL, taking on the Baltimore Ravens, who I assume in this sim have kept Lamar Jackson. They have the #3 overall offense, the #1 overall rushing offense. It's going to be a tough matchup, but it's a matchup that we are going to win. Looking at Sanders at the end of the season, just because, obviously he was utterly incredible. He got 3 experience skill points, whatever you want to call it, to upgrade. I'm going field general. That's like the style that he is, man. We can only go off what we saw at Jacksonville State, whatever they're called. And he was technician, man. Oh, he got the double dev. Take back everything I said. Look at that. That must have changed, man. It must have changed. The way that I interpret that, as someone that now has to backtrack the fact that I just straight up said, in older games, you could not go up 2 devs. You could get, and I've seen regression 2 dev traits. I've never, in older Madden, seen the double dev increase. But what that says is the bottom one that just says development trait increase star dev, that's likely from his performance. We likely got that one because of where he stood for yards and touchdowns, given that he was a normal dev. And then obviously you can see he got the offensive rookie of the year, gets a superstar off of that one. And there you go. It took me till, what is it, April to see that. Like, that's another thing. That's the first time I've seen it. I've always assumed that it couldn't happen because it never happened. But SHEDEUR Sanders got it done. Joe Spurlock, defensive rookie of the year, monster nose tackle, was a star dev out the gate. Got himself an award. Will he go up dev trait? It's not automatic, but it's favorable that he is a superstar, which he is. So we got all of that ammunition. Well, just about everyone else rolling in the Super Bowl against the Baltimore Ravens. Let's make history. I almost feel like I want to come in. Like this is almost like the Cinderella run that you just want to see happen. So if we get a couple 3rd down stops where it's like 3rd and long, maybe we'll hop in every now and again to get this one over the line. Get that Super Bowl in the books. And you know what? We'll play the full 5. I'll tell you right now. We win the Super Bowl right now. I'll play the full 5 just to see what kind of dynasty we build, because this is obviously a tremendous role of a franchise. We're going to throw it short to Scott. He's the speedster. We don't hit the A button because I'm pretty sure you still fumble when you do that. We'll move the chains, keep the drive going, see if the CPU team that we built can get a touchdown, which they don't. We have to settle for a field goal. Baltimore goes right down the field, gets a touchdown. They are up by 1, and they're stunting on us now. Holy. All right, we got to take a shot here. We got to get a touchdown, right? That's unacceptable, right? Yeah, like, what was that? Like 2 minutes ago in the first half, and they get 2 touchdowns in 2 minutes. Absolutely brutal. We're going to take off with Sanders. Oh, honestly, that could have been a late hit. Kyle Pitts. That's where we want to go. Maybe even Drake London. If he can win off that press, there's no safety over top. Let's go. Hey, when you're like 6'5" or whatever he is, it's a favorable matchup. Touchdown, Sanders to Drake London. Defense got us a stop. It just doesn't feel like they want to get us touchdowns, though. This will be the last time I come in. I already feel dirty. It's only year 2, and I'm trying to act like it's year 5 Super Bowl bust. If we don't win this, we're never winning one. See if I can get the Matetti here. Oh, you know what? I think I will, though. I'll go for it on 4th down. Let me go for it on 4th down. We get Tyler Algier, a guy who feels like he's been pretty much automatic to get us 20 touchdowns a season. Look at the mauling. You know what? When you pay out, I think Lindstrom has a $20-some million cap hit. He's the most expensive guard I've ever seen. If I have the highest paid guard of all time, I better be getting those animations every now and again where they just straight up fucking knock the guy into next week. Now, I will say at this point, I'm not loving our chances. The fact that, like, if I'm not controlling, it feels like we don't have, because it's a field goal, we let them look. He made it. He made it. We're going to overtime. Who gets the ball first? The Ravens get the ball first. See what happens. They punt it. We get the ball in overtime. We punt it. They punt it. First score is going to win in the Super Bowl, and we're going to lose. You know what? I'm not gonna. I'm gonna complain because my team fucking sucked for that. But I'm not gonna complain because literally, if I wasn't playing, if I wasn't controlling as many snaps as I did, this game wouldn't have been this close. So we weren't ready. Bit off more than we could chew. Come back on the next one. We're gonna try to spend in free agency because we're so close to the Super Bowl. Like we're not gonna be able to get needle movers likely through the draft. So I'm gonna look at Jalen Waddle. We have the top bid for him. I need wide receiver. I need a right tackle, and I need an outside linebacker, edge rusher. We're able to potentially get both, but there's also there's a chance we also swing and miss on both. No, you guys didn't like the big offer on the team that just almost won the Super Bowl. You want to go to the fucking Texans? You want to go to literally one of the worst teams in the NFL. Great. And where did Darisaw go? Patriots. Oh, yeah, you like the Patriots? You like not having any fun whatsoever. All right, well, let's see if we can get Landon Dickerson. Landon Dickerson can definitely play tag. He played pretty much literally everywhere on the offensive line. How about that? Can we at least get one guy? Hey, here we go. We got a brand new right tackle. So we're going to go to the draft, looking for an edge, looking for a wide receiver. Hopefully there's a borderline generational guy that I can be tempted to sabotage most of my remaining drafts to go get. So for the draft, we did our homework. Top guy is an edge rusher. So, like, you know, we're interested. I'm interested in just trading a bunch of picks for him. But not enough elite traits for me to say this guy's like, he's probably going to be like 77, 76, 77, likely a hidden dev. But I did find something that's not, we're going to have to trade up for it, I think. But there's 2 players. Definitely not the guy here that's F's across the board. But look at this. Top 5 talent wide receiver, Dwayne Richard. I liked McLeod, firstly, because he's a double B, double C. And he was pretty damn quick. 4.40, elite acceleration, elite agility. I was like, oh man, this guy's gonna be dope. Make sure I scout him. And then this guy with the A, deep route running, B release, C catching at 5'11. But when you see 4.24, when I see the elite speed, the elite acceleration, the elite agility, that's our guy. We are 100% going to figure out a way to draft Dwayne Richard. So I was looking at the 12th pick, which belonged to the Cleveland Browns. I had 2 second-round picks this year, so I traded both my second-round picks and pick 31 in the first round to move up to pick 12 before any of the wide receivers. I got the feeling that, like, wide receiver was about to go. I looked at the mock drafts. It looked like, I had to get ahead of 15. The Arizona Cardinals were projected to go wide receiver, so I was like, all right, in this range, let's find somebody who wants to do some business, and business was done. Dwayne Richard. top 5, true talent, 4.24 speed, generational athlete, generational talent, 98 acceleration, 96 agility, 94 change of direction, 99 speed, and the dev trait. Take a look at the draft recap. We pretty much, traded the rest of the draft, but that's all we need. 77 hidden dev, Dwayne Rich. Okay, so not generational from the standpoint of he's in the 80s, but for the guy with this type of skill set, it's just absurd. And what he's going to do to the offense, we don't have, we got complementary options. Kyle Pitts, freaky athlete, but using his size. Drake London using his size. Tyler Scott, good athlete, shifty player, but Dwayne Richards, it's like, we missed on Jalen Waddle in free agency. Here's our side chick. Here's our number 2 option, who might be better when all is said and done. Who knows? Let's see what that dev ends up being. Year 3, here's our squad. Sanders, Algier, London, Richard, Tyler Scott, Kyle Pitts doing the damn thing. We got Landon Dixon. He's the big new face. Well, actually, Richard, because he's first round pick. But Landon Dixon at right tackle there, really solidifying the offensive line. That's pretty solid, but we are, always open to upgrading, especially at left tackle spot. Jake Matthews has pretty much just been regressing this whole rebuild, so we're going to need a new left tackle sooner than later. On the defensive side, did not call it out before, but AJ Terrell went up dev trait. So we got 2 X-Factor corners. Maybe surprisingly, Rashawn Gary off 17 sacks. Not everything didn't roll our way last offseason. Obviously, we did lose in the Super Bowl. But Rashawn Gary with 17 sacks did not get a dev trait off that star, which is kind of annoying, but I guess it is what it is. And if he has a repeat performance, I doubt they will deny him a dev trait in back-to-back monster seasons. But let's see what SHEDEUR Sanders can do. He has the experience now after his rookie campaign, going to the Super Bowl. Let's run it back here in year 3. So, thought we'd get back to the Super Bowl. We're only a game back in the division, I guess, but 3-4 is definitely a step back where I want to be with this team momentum-wise. I don't know how that Super Bowl loss was debilitating. $87 million worth of salary cap. Kind of just forget. SHEDEUR Sanders was so good. I just forgot to even do anything with Desmond Ridder. We're just going to let him bounce to free agency. We'll do right by Grady Jarrett. He's a legend. He's underrated. If he wants his 2-year deal, okay. I'll go fuck myself then. Algier's been awesome. I want to keep him in. We'll give him a 6-year deal. Bump that up 5 and 3.5. That should be enough. 51 mil. Thank you very much. Kyle Pitts, one of my favorite players in the NFL. All biases included. I'm going to go I don't even want to mess around. Take the money and run, kid. You are ridiculous at 100 catches from the freaking tight end spot. And I know when they drafted him, I loved Arnold McKetty during the draft process. He just hasn't been overly productive, and I feel like getting another edge rusher on the other side of Rashawn Gary, a proven one, maybe with one with a little bit more upside, could be a good way to invest a remaining salary cap. All right, year 3 in classic, consistent Madden year 3 fashion, if you will. 8-9 and just garbage. Not good offensively. Not good defensively. Sanders played well. 37 touchdowns. I'll take that every day of the week. Algier, passable numbers for double 1,000. Kyle Pitts, a little bit of step back, but again, for a tight end, 1,000 yards is really good for a tight end. And when you have 2 other guys eating the line share, Dwayne Richards, the rookie, thriving in the slot. Oh, let's go. He's a monster. What a pick. What a pick. I'll take that. I'll take the year 3 just wasting, a game that could be in our Super Bowl window. Our sacks, Rashawn Gary had 17 sacks last year. He has 3 this year. Nothing's changed. He's same role. Didn't get changed on the depth chart. Just did fuck all. But I will take X-Factor wide receiver right there. AJ Terrell, 8 interceptions. What a monster he's been as well down the stretch. Got his X-Factor. We didn't even highlight that at the end of last season. MVP, Sanders coming in at number 8 in the NFC, just quickly burning through to getting award winners. Dwayne Richards, doesn't matter. Already has the X-Factor. Can't gain anything better. Chris Lindstrom, lineman of the year. I don't know. Can we get an X-Factor lineman? That'd be dope. AJ Terrell, already an X-Factor. So our good players played really well, and we just could not find a way to string wins together. Wow, classic year 3. Who gives a fuck type year? We suck, and the Super Bowl's the 2 teams that are almost always in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs and Cowboys. Imagine that. More so focus on our team, how we played as it relates to dev traits. Wow. The uncommon, often rare, double dev trait loss on the lineman. Matthews lost his star. Hennessy lost his star. Okay. Defensively, in terms of dev traits, no changes. No movers, no downers. Given the fact that overall it's a down year, I think we count our blessings. Take that as a win. We find a more competitive tackle, so we're going to move on from great, I think you call him great, Jake Matthews, just because there's $13 million that we can use to spend elsewhere. All right, so unfortunately, we couldn't extend Grady Jarrett. Just wouldn't really entertain our offers during the regular season. We're going to try to bring him in. Ike Ekwonu would be our big get at left tackle. I put in a monster bid. How the fuck are we losing all these guys? Like, we're consistently having the best bid. Huh. Literally the only thing that's arguably gone wrong for us. All right, let's see. Oh, we got Tyler Smith. You know, secondary 84. You know, he's going to be probably better than any tackle we could draft. Yeah, will he come? I want someone new. We've used Tyler Smith somewhat frequently in the last couple of years. He's the only guy that wants to be a part of a winning team. I'm not going to fault him for that. I wish things were different. There's generational. There's a generational guy. 6'5", A's everywhere, 4'3". That guy there is going to be unreal. He's going to be absolutely unreal. That's copy and paste. That guy's going to be 82, 81, 82 overall. X factor out the gate. But we just don't need it. Don't need it as much as I want to trade up. Just want to highlight how insane. Like, what do we got? I think my argument is this. We just don't need another weapon at wide receiver. We could trade a bunch of picks, just get the fun, crazy guy, right? But we hit on an X-Factor wide receiver. We still have Drake London, Tyler Scott-Serviceable. We got Kyle Pitts. Like, there's only so many targets that can go around, right? But in the same regard, there's nobody else that I want. There's absolutely, I needed someone on the defensive line. No one here is worth trading up for, and the top guys are going to be gone. Like, it's weak, right? You know, when you're getting the double, you know, 2 A's and a couple C's of your best looking player across, the, you know, do we just try to overpower? Just say we're going offense. We're going straight offense. We're going to have the best skill position players in the NFL, and we just say live with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that the answer? Is that what we're supposed to do? Is that how we're gonna win a Super Bowl? Is you have three X factors type guy? You know, is that what we need? Because this guy's going to be an X factor. He's going to be one. All mock drafts had the Ravens selecting him. I'll at least do this. What would it cost? What is the price for me to move up to the second pick? Like, if it's one of those things where, like, I could send them Drake London and picks. You know, Drake London and a first this year and, you know, whatever to get this guy. Maybe I'll do it. What are they looking for? Kyle Pitts and Richie Grant. Only 2 firsts? Fuck it. That's all. You know what? I'm going to be honest. The drafts have not been good. Like, the wide receiver, Richard last year, we hit on that. Like, that wasn't a hit. That wasn't an obvious hit. That was me just drafting the fast guy. It looked pretty good. This has been through 3 drafts, the only guy where I'm like, holy shit, I need that guy on my team. And we don't even need him. But I'm going to draft him anyway. Jaquan Sharp. I'm thinking generational. All right, draft recap. For how much of a little of a need this guy was. The fact that he's Julio Jones, pretty much reincarnated, is good enough for me, man. 83 overall, 94 speed, 94 acceleration, 99 jumping, 88 catching, 92 spec catch, 87 agility, 85 change of direction for a guy this fucking big. Let's go. Good point of year 4, 5-4, tied for first place in the division. which, you know, it's pretty good. Putting up 40 bomb here on the Packers or the Bucks, which is never an easy assignment. Still, oh, show me the dev. Oh, it's so close. Put him in the slot. Hopefully he's eating. Hopefully he's absolutely eating. All right. Well, let's look at some contracts. Who's going to run this whole rebuild? Who do I need to make sure never plays for another team? And one is definitely Chris Lindstrom. Give you player friendly. It should be $101 million, especially at your age. You take that and laugh. Jesse Bates, who was a big signing right at the beginning. He's been solid. I feel like he's one of those guys that's more of a glue. Now, if he left, I'd be a little bit worried. Guess we'll go Drake London. Keep him. You know, the whole point is kind of staying deep at wide receiver. So we'll have him, and then Tyler Scott will leave. He's surplus requirement at this point, unfortunately for him. Yasir Abdullah has been consistent. He's been solid. Was a great value pick for us in our very first draft, so we'll keep him. Has, you know, been holding on to that dev trait fairly well. Adebaware, you know, inconsistent. I'm not rushing to sign a lot of these guys. I think we'll get Jesse Bates over the line, and maybe won't oppose bringing the rest of these guys back potentially, but we'll let them hit the open market. The bad news, which I didn't want to show you guys because I said some things, was Jesse Bates hit us with that. I don't want to resign with you. The good news, NFC South champions, 11-6. We played up to our potential. Oh, and remember that wide receiver that we actually didn't need, but just said, F it. Generational. Back-to-back drafts, landing X-Factor wide receivers. Jaquan Sharp. What's that ability? Yak him up, sure, whatever you want to call it. He's Julio Jones reincarnated. Just reliving history. We have the member of the Sanders family who's electrifying back in a Falcons uniform, and we got the regen of Julio freaking Jones, and I got the regen of like Tyreek Hill on this team. So we're absolutely stacked there. Our offense is S tier. Sanders went for 5,000 yards passing, 35 touchdowns. Not a bad year. Probably, you know, what we say, we are chasing like the X Factor. He's been on Superstar for a minute, kind of stunted. Maybe that's his ceiling. That's not the end of the world. 19 touchdowns for Algier. Jaquan Sharp led the team, 71 catches. That slot position thriving. 1,000 for Richards, 1,000 for Pitts, almost 1,000 for Drake London. So all these guys are really finding a way to coexist, which is very good. What we need. Walker with us up. Man, the middle linebackers in this Falcons scheme get sacks. Adebaware gets his career year. Of course, didn't even think about re-signing him. I probably will do that because that might be a dev trade increase for him. Walker led the team with 4 picks. Yearly awards, MVP goes to something known as a Darren June. SHEDEUR Sanders down there at number 7 in the NFC. Just quickly looking for some Atlanta Falcons. Jaquan Sharp is Offensive Rookie of the Year, but nowhere to go with that dev trait as he's already S tier, but I guess it just kind of reaffirms it. Chris Lindstrom, Lineman of the Year, back-to-back seasons. I believe he has won that for us. And we have another opportunity here. Year 4. Year 2, we went to the Super Bowl. Year 3, we sucked because it's year 3. That's just what happens in Madden. Year 4, first round of the playoffs against the Cowboys. We beat the Cowboys 28-25. One of the worst teams to get the roll in the NFC. We beat the Seahawks. And the championship is against the Commanders. Can we double over? Oh, we could not double over the NFC East in the playoffs. Fall 31-14 in the NFC Championship game. And it's all going to come down to a year 5 Super Bowl or bust. All right, so we got Adebaware, who went up dev trait, got the star dev after his breakout year. We got him to sign. Jesse Bates, the interest meter before, I think a big reason why we were failing was because it wasn't even green. Now it is green. We'll come back to give him the same offer he told us to go F ourselves before. We get him signed on the dotted line. Just has a 93 overall going into the final year. He's likely, you know, the best available player at that spot. Younghoe Koo, he's like a meme. He's like the best fantasy kicker. Let's get him, see if he can go the full 5 years. What's be able to go? So we're going to be able to roll into free agency $80 million. And I'm going to spend it. All right, look at that free agency. This is absurd. I guarantee you. I offered almost double over a 2-year period what the Cardinals offered. And I still don't even have the top offer, which is slap in my face. I'm also going to look at Brian Brzee, who could be a defensive end on our front 3. And hey, Ragno takes it. There we go. We got a center and a D tackle. And we don't really have any picks left in the draft, at least premier picks, so we'll probably just quickly burn through that. But with these 2 guys, one on offense, one on defense, we're going to be tough to beat next year. We did have a pick to the 3rd round, so That's kind of what a draft looks like when you don't have a first or second round pick. Here's a look at what we have built here in Atlanta. I think you could say on the offense, this is a super team. This is an 88. Yeah, okay, we got the inexperienced left guard, but 88, 93, 96, 89 on the offensive line. We have a 99 X-Factor tight end, 2 X-Factor wide receivers that we've drafted. Drake London's almost, our third wide receiver is almost a 90. Algier's been ridiculous, 94 superstar. SHEDEUR Sanders, 88 overall. And he's been awesome, honestly. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't got X-Factor yet, but he's been playing easily, firmly, like a top 10 quarterback since he's been here in Atlanta. The offense is absurd. The defense, pretty damn good as well. We got Breezy, Adebaware, and Spurlock. Only thing we don't have is another edge. You can argue our linebackers aren't the best, but I wouldn't say they're a weakness. I don't think we're going to lose because we don't have literally star talent at every single position. Our secondary is ridiculous. Jesse Bates, 94. AJ Terrell, 98 X-Factor. We did lose the X-Factor on Christian Gonzalez, but he's still 97 superstar. Jeff Okuda's been solid for us. Good slot player, 84. So I just think 92 overall team. We should be getting 13, 14 wins minimum here in year 5 and contending for a Super Bowl. And we actually live up to the hype here in year 5, 14-3, our third NFC South title of the rebuild. Number 1 overall offense, number 2 overall defense, 97. This is one of the better teams I think we've ever had. To be complete, let's spend these upgrades here. We get the first round bye, get to kick our feet up anyways and await who is going to get on the wrong end of an ass kicking in the divisional round. Let's take a look at the squad. What's all the ratings are at now? SHEDEUR Sanders leading this super team. The Dirty Birds, 94, 96, 97, 96, 94, 94 center, 97 guard, 90 right tackle, 99 tight end. Oh, we built like Spurlock's a 96. Get the 99 in Terrell, the 98 in Gonzalez, the 95 in Jesse Bates, the 96 in Rashawn Gary. Honestly, I would probably say this. I'm not going to say this is the best team we've built, as SHEDEUR Sanders is number 2 in passing yards. This might be the best, might not be the overall best, but I would put this team against any of our other S-tier rebuild teams and say we might be able to win. 5,100 yards, 38 touchdowns for Sanders. Great season. 12 and 16 for Algier. 13, almost 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns for Drake London. So note to self, if you're playing the Atlanta Falcons and you want one guy to get the best stats on your team at wide receiver, put him in the slot. 11 and 5 for Richards, 1,004 for Pitts, 9 and 6 for Sharp, the generational wide receiver. It's fine. He's going to step up when we need him to here in the playoffs. I know it. 13 half sacks for Sean Gary, 11 from Spurlock, 9 from Brian Breezy. On the interception front, 3 picks for Grant, 3 for Gonzalez, 3 for Jeff Okuda. Tied for the lead. Number 1 offense in the NFL, though. Let's go. Sanders at number 6 for the MVP. Never won MVP, but he's pretty much been on the short list since he's been in the league. Which, you know, you're not always going to just straight up do everything, win everything, accomplish everything in a rebuild. You know, you can just be really, really good. And that's the case that we're dealing with here. So we get to kick our feet up and await our opponent in the divisional round. It's probably going to be Dallas or someone super annoying like that. But maybe it won't. Maybe it'll be... Yep. How'd I know? It's like I just had spice it. Well, at least if we lose, we have an excuse because we lost to a cheat code. And we still beat a freakishly good team. But if we win, which we did, 28-14, we are 1 win away from going to a Super Bowl. 28-14, was it Sanders? Was he did the damn thing? I played well. I don't necessarily know who's getting the game ball here on the team. We get after it. Rashawn Gary, 2 sacks. I'd probably give it to Rashawn Gary when all is said and done. So who do we got? Was it the Commanders? The NFC. I mean, the NFC East has been very good. They're always the teams that we've seen on our playoff runs. Championship game, they're good, 14-3, almost a 90 overall. Anytime the CPU can build a team like that in the background of a rebuild, gotta respect it, but they are just not on our level. Setting up a Raiders-Falcons Super Bowl. Sanders reverse. Anthony Richardson is the quarterback there, but look at that, 6 touchdowns. SHEDEUR Sanders. Well, look at the stats for the Super Bowl, so I don't rage quit. We miss it. So far in his career, we're in year 4? He's played 3? No, he's 3. 3 seasons in the NFL. 19,000 yards passing, 146 touchdowns to 42 picks. Also got 13 rushing touchdowns. He's been amazing. Tyler Algier has been very solid this rebuild. 7,200 yards, 87 touchdowns. He's been a TD machine. Kyle Pitts almost 7,000 yards, 36 tutties, 6,700 yards, 42 touchdowns. Drake London. Richards and Sharp obviously just haven't had the opportunity to, they just don't have the amount of years to put up big-time numbers. With both X factors, Quan Sharp being generational, Richards being pretty damn close. Just too outstanding. And how much do you want to, Richard, we traded up for both of them. So, I mean, I guess you get some credit. But, it's like, I'm one to be happy that I make the right pick. But I'm never really going to gloat. Because it's not too often that's like, like this, he had all ace. He had all ace. It was 6'5", ran a 4.3. Like, of course he's going to be good. Anybody, some guy that just kind of picked up the game and knows the alphabet would be like, oh, that guy's going to be pretty good. So I'm not going to necessarily gloat that I drafted these generational players. It was kind of obvious that they were going to be pretty S tier. But you know what? I'll gloat that I was able to find a way to make it happen. And build them all here together. Defensively, obviously Jesse Bates did a lot of that with the Bengals. 700 tackles for AJ Terrell. We got, at least for like homegrown, sacks were never really that great for the team. But I will say Rashawn Gary did a lot of that with us. 25 picks, AJ Terrell. 10 picks for Okuda. 10 picks, Christian Gonzalez. Richie Grant with 9. Yasir Abdul has been a starting linebacker for us since our first season. 500 tackles for him. 27 TFL. 7 picks, so he's been solid. But those are the stats. It's been a pretty good rebuild. Really fun rebuild. We built a ridiculous team. Let's get the cherry on top with a Super Bowl. We are almost 10 overall points better than Vegas. We earned this. Let's do the right thing. I've built a 97 overall offense. Let me put up 48 points in the Super Bowl. Give me my goddamn trophy. And let's just respect what I've built. So both teams are scoring here in the first half. We get the okay. No. There we go. Instant touchdown. That's what we need. If our defense is going to let us down, I just need, boom, touchdown on offense. They're going to keep us in. Look at that. Offense, when our defense shits the bed, our offense goes, yeah, we got you. But I'm not a big fan of the fact that the Raiders have just scored a touchdown. It feels like every offensive possession. 3rd and 4. We'll come in here. Is the clock going to be running? No, it's not. Okay, let's get a playoff. Maybe get a touchdown here. It's raining. Thought Super Bowls weren't supposed to be played in places that can rain. Oh, the quick throw to Kyle Pitts. Let's go. Saw that right away. When you got a 99 freak alien tight end, you got to use him. Ties up 31. Everything to play for here in the 4th. And it just continues. Our defense cannot get a stop. Oh, we got the turnover when he did it. No! Why is it always this? Why is it always the improbable storybook movie finish in the fucking sim? They're always getting that fucking points to extend the game. They're always doing that shit. You know what I do? Don't give a fuck. You know what I do? I got a 99.99. I got another guy at 6'5" with 94 speed. We are going to dial it back to pink slips. I don't know what's going to be our best shot play here. Because everyone knows Hail Marys don't work. Just give me some of that Richards is going a straight line. Oh, no. It's touchdown. X touchdown. It's going to be an X or A touchdown. I'm going to put Algier in pass pro. X or A are going to be wide open. We're going to win the Super Bowl. Because we should have won the Super Bowl. It's just because Madden Sim sucks. Yep. And that's why you draft generational guys at wide receiver. Because when push comes to shove, it's going to take the balls of another DC to say, we're just going to press you. We're going to press your freak athletes at the line of scrimmage to see what happens. And I believe Webster's dictionary defines that as fuck around, find out. That's what happened. Hey, Anthony Richardson he's losing. He's going ape shit. He can't believe it. But there's the Super Bowl, man. 90. You can make the argument. I don't even know if you can make the argument. I think it might be outright. This is the best offense we've ever built in a Madden rebuild. SHEDEUR Sanders, following in the footsteps of his father, a former Falcon great first-round draft pick, and then we just go all in. All in around Kyle Pitts, X-Factor wide receivers, O-line's been outstanding. Sometimes you could just offense your way to success. 48-41, which is still pretty bad for how good my defense is. I have like a 90-plus defense. But at least we were able to have a little bit of fun at the end there. Right the ship, get the Super Bowl victory. And hey, I get to go watch the new Super Mario Brothers movie. So it's a win-win. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think that's something I do want to explore. Just a little bit, have a little bit of fun. Maybe some of these future quarterbacks, not so much, you know, the Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson. Look at some of the guys that are going to be in 2024. We've already done, you know, you've Drake May, Caleb Williams, now we have Sanders. I was thinking, like, you know, what other quarterbacks that are in college right now that you might want to see a little bit about future rebuild with? Feel free to let me know in the comment section below. I've seen people before, just out of the blue, mention maybe like Quinn Ewers from Texas, or you got like Arch Manning. That could be a funny video. If you guys want to see stuff like that, let me know in the comment section below. But that will do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's your boy C4. Say peace out. Love you. Have a good one.